help restore a piece of Vegas history. Recently, Dow and guest host Jeff Savilico interviewed a rep with the Neon Museum and their fundraising efforts to revitalize the Desert Rose Motel sign. Here's how you can help.
That's right, and here now to tell us how you can get involved in restoring the motel sign is Executive Director of the Neon Museum, Danielle Kelly. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's start off with a little bit of skinny on the Neon Museum itself.
Well, the Neon Museum, as you mentioned, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to collecting and studying and celebrating Las Vegas's iconic signage. And one of those signs is the Desert Rose Motel. It's a beautiful sign, perhaps one that might surprise people that we're excited to conserve, but it's one that a lot of people remember from their visits to Las Vegas.
And where was this sign before it was taken down, for people who don't know the history?
Right. The Desert Rose originally sat on the south end of the Strip, kind of where the Monte Carlo is now. And it opened in 1953, and for a while, if you can imagine when Las Vegas, if we can even imagine a time when the Strip was smaller, it would have been one of the last signs people saw when they left on their way back to LA, or one of the first they saw on their way in. The sign in our collection was built in 1960. And so if you imagine the Strip in the 60s, that's when signs really started getting huge. And the Desert Rose had to keep up. It's all about, you know, competition. And the sign got very, very big. So it's 24 feet long. It's one of the biggest motel signs in our collection, if not the biggest.
Wow. So tell us about the fundraiser.
Well, what's happening is we're embarking on a conservation campaign for the sign. For people who remember the sign, or people who maybe can find images of this sign, they'll know that not only was it beautiful to see at night, it was really incredible during the day because of its hand-painted elements. And so what this effort is to not to restore the neon or any bulbs that were on it to plug it back in, but to repaint the sign, to bring back the hand-painted trellises and the lettering, which also conserves the body of the sign so that it can't be susceptible to rust and things like that. And also it protects the whole sign and keeps in contact or intact that beautiful painting that people remember.
Yeah, and you mentioned the sign is very large. So do you have an artist in mind already to recreate it? Do you have the paint? Can you find paint in that color still?
Yes.
Do you go to Home Depot, pick up a can, it's all good?
No, we work with a number of incredible sign companies in town, and the sign company that we've spoken to about this restoration is Young Electric Sign Company. So we work with sign companies like Federal Heath, Patrick Sign, different sign companies in town. And so part of the expense, it's very expensive to repaint this sign, but it's because it's so huge. So we have to remove it from the Bonnier collection, repaint it, and bring it back in.
Can you plug it in? You mentioned you're not going to redo the bulbs, so you'll never be able to see it lit up again.
Maybe sometime in the future. Right now, the urgent need is to repaint because the wind is removing the paint from the sign. And so we got to get in there and repaint it to protect it and save it.
Yeah. What other projects does the Neon Museum have throughout the year?
All kinds of things. This time of year we don't have as much educational program because it's so hot, but starting in September we'll gear up again with our junior interpretive program, which is kids' family tours of the Neon Museum, which are really great. And we actually just last night plugged in one of the Riviera signs. So it's illuminated.
Cool. Oh,
so
the Riviera.
Wow, the newest edition, right?
Yes, newest edition. Beautiful sign. Everybody needs to come and see it. It's spectacular.
Now, getting back to that Desert Rose sign, if people make a donation, are you doing something special for donors?
We are. We're doing it's crowdfunding. So we're on Indiegogo. They can find the link on our website www.neonmuseum.org and click on support. That'll take them to the Indiegogo campaign. We have a number of levels, ways for people to support us. We have a Rose Supporter, Vintage Rose Champion, all themed around the Desert Rose. We've made T-shirts. I helped repaint the Desert Rose. We've made tote bags. We're going to have a party just for the donors. So it's going to be really special, and we hope everyone will help us accomplish this goal.
How much do you think it's going to cost to fund it?
We're raising $50,000.
It's that expensive.
It's that expensive. People don't
Wow.
always realize how expensive it is
Yeah.
to restore signs. We need
it right.
a lot of help. Yeah.
It's iconic, so we want to save it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow. So how else can we lend support? You know, the donations, you need volunteers?
Donations, volunteers are always just an incredible help. We have a wonderful group of volunteers. And just visiting us and telling your friends to visit us.
It's on my list, honestly. It's a big bucket list. Everybody raves about it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Thank
check
you.
it out.
Thank you so much.
you.
I'm
Thank you
sure
so much.
you'll raise the money. People are so generous in this town, aren't they?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
thank
thank you.
Thanks, Danielle. Lend your support for the Neon Museum to repaint the Desert Rose Motel sign. There are several ways you can leave your mark. For details, just visit the Neon Museum's website or call the number listed on your screen.